Good evening. Oh, got an itch. I wanted to talk tonight about tips to help spark creativity. I've been thinking a lot about creativity recently, partly because I actually wasn't feeling very creative and I needed to be creative. So I kind of went on a bit of a wandering meander about what are the things that help me get more creative, what makes me feel more creative, what do I need to do, how do I need to think, all that kind of stuff. So as you know, with these lives, if I learn something, I share it, pass it on. Is it tag your it? Tip your it. Yeah, pass it on. Passing on a font of knowledge. There we go. So the first thing I have to say about creativity, is you have to believe that you are creative. Like that's the biggest, like the first stumbling block to being creative is believing that you actually are. And the reality is everybody is. We're all creative. But it's one of those things, like so many things that we explore and just a part of our everyday when we're children, as we get older and we tend to think more about things rather than just doing things, we kind of like squish that creativity out of us, which is awful, you know? So we need to reopen up that side of us to embrace that, our creative juices, so to speak, okay? So it's a tough one because I for years kept saying, I'm not very creative. I'm not very creative. Because I associated creativity with being able to do things as an artist. So to be able to paint or draw or to write music or to, they were the things to me that meant you were creative, which is wrong. There's creative thinking in everything. Believe it or not, the person that came up with this calculator had to be creative. Like it's everything. It's not just the pretty things. There's creativity in everything. There's creativity in this light, this computer, this dress, the lipstick. It's everywhere. So I thought about it. I had to do kind of some work on it for myself. And I was like, oh, actually, I can cook really interesting things. I can make great cakes. I love to play with makeup. I love to play with decorations around the house, etc. So I was like, oh, I kind of accepted that I was creative in that artistic way, which then led me to go, oh, I also think creatively when I'm problem solving or in business situations or on stage. I can think creatively to get out of a bit of a jam. And there's so many areas you can be creative in. You can be creative in everything from what you wear to what you like in the bedroom to how you do your makeup to how you talk to people to how you walk down the street. You can put a little creative bounce in your step, which is always fun to do. So, okay. The second thing you got to really do if you want to be creative, the more creative you want to be, is you got to be okay with failure. Yeah, sorry, because for every 101 creative ideas, they're not all going to be winners. So you have to be okay with failure. And I've got a couple of lives on failure, so feel free to go back and have a look at those. But yeah, fail, learn, move on. So here are my top 10 tips. Are you ready? I've got to look at my list so I don't forget any. So I'll just move my phone a little bit that way so I can do that. Oh, shivers, no, I did the wrong way. There we go. Okay. So number one tip for sparking creativity is set aside, sounds counterintuitive, I know, set aside time to do nothing. Coming from the scheduling queen herself. You have to have space. You have to have space to be creative. And if that literally means you put an hour or a week or half an hour a day or whatever you want in your calendar for nothing, then that's what you have to do. Because those creative juices, the more nothingness there is, the more they come to the forefront, which is just fantastic, okay? And the more creative you are, this is the beautiful thing, the more creative you are, the more neural pathways open up and the more connections that happen within your brain, which means you can then be more creative. So more possibilities. So creativity leads to creativity, which is awesome. Number 2, get outside in nature. Yes. So for me, that's water is inspiring. For other people, it might be a hike in the mountains, a beach, a bike ride on a bush track. It could be just sitting in your garden. It could be like pruning your roses, but get outside in nature. Does wonders for creativity. Number 3, time to play. Now, again, in our overscheduled world, this is a tough one. But as I touched on last night with collecting experiences, not baggage, time to play is a big one. And again, that really helps open up more pathways and connections, which means you're more creative. So you want to look at things like music, dancing, cooking, games, because all of those things also, when you're playing a game, you're using different parts of your brain to just like sitting down and doing something. So it energizes you and opens up a world of possibility. I'm going to say that probably 10 times. That world of possibility that is creativity. Now I'm just thinking of that song from Willy Wonka, in a world of pure imagination, da-da-da, da-da-da. Journaling, yes, a big one for creativity, especially things like morning pages. I've mentioned her before, but Julia, oh, just a mental blank. Julia Shivers' book called The Artist's Way. And she also has this brilliant thing on the Artist's Way blog that has 101 ideas for artists' dates, which are things to go out and do something to spark your creativity. So create a self-portrait. I'll read one to you. Sit on a porch swing, lean your head back as far as you can and look up to the tree branches backwards. Cool. Have a look at that if you want to go more down that path. But yeah, definitely writing, journaling sparks creativity. Number 5, have an idea book. So I actually do this. I don't have a book for this. I have a Pinterest thing, and I have notes in my Dropbox and things like that. When I have an idea, it goes in like an ideas file of things. Some of them may never see the light of day, ever. Okay. Funny, a friend on Facebook the other day posted a screenshot of book ideas he'd had and hadn't done anything with. And one of them was a book on failure. It was like, funny that I failed to write the book on failure that I had the idea about. So there's no such thing as, just, if you've got an idea, make sure you note it, because otherwise you'll forget it. Our brains are not meant for storing stuff. Our brains are like computer processors. We need to get that stuff out. So if you had an idea, get it out. It's got to get out, okay? Number 6, reignite a creative passion. You might have liked the tango when you were younger, or you might have liked painting with watercolors, or you may have loved your textiles and design class. That was not me. But if there was something in your childhood that you loved creatively, reignite it. Even if it was in your early 20s that you did it, whatever it is. If you wanted to be a songwriter and you like doing that, start doing it again. Again, it doesn't matter if any of this stuff doesn't see the light of day. It's about opening up your mind to then think creatively in work situations or in personal situations, rather than being stuck by these limiting ideas of answers for things, which I'm going to touch on it now in a second. Number 7, get off devices and computers and screens and computers and all those things. They mess with your brain. Ironic, me being on my phone looking at a computer screen while I say that. But the more we're off our devices, the more creativity will feel, like absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, number 8, think like a child. Yes, not in the tantrum kind of way, but kids just get in there and do. They see sand, so they build a castle. Kids might see an empty cardboard box and they can create a hut out of it. Kids think it's a cold night. Let's build a fort under the dining room table with lots of blankets and watch a TV. Just go for it. Like, when you're thinking of something, it's like, what would a 6-year-old do in this situation? They can have some of the best ideas. Oh my gosh. Number 9, this is in particular if you're trying to think creatively about something and you're a bit stuck, okay? So I want you to have like a Q&A session with yourself, with your team or your family, but I've written this from a personal point of view, but it can absolutely be done in a team environment, is have like a brainstorm Q&A, and where no idea is off the table. No idea is too stupid. No idea is too expensive. No idea has been done before. But come up with as many So ask open-ended questions and come up with as many possibilities for a solution to a problem. As many as possible. Come up with 100 if you can. I try and do 52 because I like 52 because it's 52 weeks in the year. So I was doing some content the other day, and I couldn't quite get what I needed out. So I asked myself a couple of questions, and I just came out with write the answers. By the time I'd done all that writing, I was like, oh, okay. A whole lot of them are shit, but there's a couple of great nuggets in there. But it's just that open-ended go for it that sparks that creativity. So that's a big one. Number 10. Now, I did a Facebook Live on this particular thing a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago, can't remember. It was about having a muse. And I talked about how fashion designers and artists and singers and musicians and writers quite often have a muse, and it's someone they draw inspiration from. And I talked about the idea of having, if you don't have a real one, like a real live muse, having a virtual one. And I really think it's a good idea, especially to help you spark creativity. So you can go back and look at that one. But yeah, find yourself a muse, whether they be virtual or in real life. Then I just wanted to add a couple of other things that are not my tips for sparking creativity, but they are things I do believe that really help with your creativity, okay? So one of them is environment. If you're a person that's inspired by color and your house is all beige, you're probably not going to be feeling very creative. Likewise, if you like total minimalism and you have a bookshelf that looks like mine with lots and lots of books and lots and lots of books and lots and lots of books, that would probably do your head in and not be helpful with creativity, okay? So make sure you create an environment where you feel creative, where you can be free and creative. Really important. Another one is vision boards. Whether they're digital or physical, vision boards are really important. Last year I used to do a vision diary, cover of my diary. These days I've actually got an electronic one. I've got a few things stuck up around the walls, but electronic for me at the moment. I just play with that. But they're a great thing to help spark that creative juice. Another one, I've never actually done this, but a lot of people have told me it's really helpful for being more creative. And that's to record your dreams. Now, on the odd chance I actually remember a dream, which I don't very often, they're usually so weird I think I need psychotherapy really quickly. So I don't record them. But apparently it's really good for creativity. So maybe I'll try that one. Again, meditation, yes, really good because it's letting go of a whole lot of stuff in your head, which helps you get creative because we want that space, we want that freedom to be creative. Likewise, with vision boards and meditation, another exercise you can do is visualizations, which will help spark creativity because you're letting your imagination go. You're opening up possibility again to just go for things. So visualization, any visioning exercise, whether it's through a meditation process or a separate process, is brilliant for that kind of thing, for helping that. And they should just be part of your daily, so these kind of things should be part of your daily life anyway. Really great environment, vision boards, meditation, visualization. And the last one, which I'm trying to incorporate a little bit more into my life, and I've been reading a book on how to do it, is mind maps. Now, I'm not finding it very easy, but I left it here because so many people I know, mind maps are so powerful and they can literally, I've been at conferences and people listening to the speakers are like mind mapping out what the speaker says, and I'm blown away by how they do it. So for some people, and those people generally incorporate mind maps into just about every aspect of their life. So I wanted to have it here as well because for you, that might be one of the keys. Doing more mind mapping might be a tool you need to do every day to help you be more creative, okay? So there you have my top 10 tips for sparking creativity. Don't forget, the most important bit though is you must believe that you are creative. We all are. And of that, I promise you. Mwah. Night, night. See you tomorrow.